Hello everybody and welcome to your full moon flow in Scorpio. Scorpio is a very deep, watery, emotional sign that deals with your pelvis and your pelvic bowl. It's a time to really process emotions through feeling them. As we go through today's practice, I want you to remember that emotions are temporary. They are a temporary state of being. So as we allow emotions to come into our body, we also allow them to go. This practice tonight, I really want to focus on allowing emotions in, allowing you to feel them fully and process them as they pass through your body as well. The full moon in Scorpio tonight is really focused on growth-oriented movement. So whenever you feel like you're outgrowing something, that's the energy that's processing tonight. Moon Omens is an account that I follow, and they also have a website. They posted, when the purpose of a certain structure has been fulfilled, we need to liberate the energy that has been used and contained there to make it available for something else. And that really sums up what the energy is like tonight. It's a lot of processing, letting go of old structures, old thinking patterns, emotions that we have still been holding on to, and allowing them to flow through us so that we can be our best version of ourselves. So two other themes that really are strong within Scorpio are elimination and destruction, which can seem scary or intimidating, but is also a natural process of life. There's a time for everything, there's a time for things to be new and to come, and then there's also a time to let go and to shed and for things to come apart. So we're really focusing on the elimination and destruction right now, allowing that to be a sacred process as we go through and really honoring that. So I want you to just fully get into your body. We're gonna just start seated in a comfortable pose, and I really want you to just come into your body. So really just become aware of every part of your body. What are you feeling? What are your legs feeling? Your hands, your head? Take a deep breath and just really ground down into your body. So the full moon is when the moon is opposite of the sun, and so it's reflecting completely. The sun is in Taurus, which is an earth sign. It's a very grounded, sensual sign, and the moon is in Scorpio. So that's how that works. It's a reflective moment of examining yourself in the current moment through the lens of the opposing sign in order for you to dive deeper into yourself. The full moon can feel super vulnerable. It's a time when you get kind of cracked open, the spotlight gets shined on you. You are not able to hide those tendencies or those things that you wish you didn't have or didn't do, or those emotions that you wish you didn't still hold on to, or those patterns of thinking. There's really nowhere for you to hide under the full moon, so it can be a high anxiety time. That's why I want to create this space for whoever is ready for it to come, sit, allow yourself to be seen, be vulnerable, look at yourself with the light of the full moon illuminating all parts of you, and become fully aware of who you are with no judgment. It's not good or bad, it just is. Energetically, you'll know when it's time to let go of certain ways of being. You might want to label them as bad, and they might be bad in your current state, but at one point they might have done something for you. So if it was your coping skill to always be the loudest or to have a strong front to protect you against your environment, then you carry that coping skill into your life where you don't need it, but it's preventing you from making friendships or relationships. That's when it becomes negative. Although at one point it was protecting you, it's not needed anymore. So we sit every month to evaluate ourselves, our body, our spirit, our mind, to witness what are we carrying, what are we holding on to that no longer serves us, that we can thank you and let go. Say, thank you for serving me. Up until this point, I am ready to make room to give that energy to something else. So as we sit in our body, we come into our body onto the mats, we feel the energy of the full moon shining above us, illuminating the mat, illuminating our bodies, allowing ourselves to sit with whatever may rise with gentle, loving kindness and compassion. So whatever comes up tonight, I want you to love yourself through it. Know that it's temporary and that you're growing, and with growing, there's always growing pains. So as you welcome yourself into your body, I want you to tune into your breath. Taking a deep inhale, feeling the belly rise. And exhale, feeling the shoulders drop away from the ears, shoulder blades down the back. Take another inhale. And exhale. I'm going to give you a few moments of silence here to find your own pace. If you ever feel like you're lost in a thought or an emotion, you're drifting away from the present moment, from your mat, from your current body, I encourage you to take a deep breath to reset, to come back to the breath. Now, as we get into our physical practice, I want to remind you that everything I offer you tonight is simply an offering. I want you to remember that you have an internal teacher that knows your body and your limits. Listen to yourself, listen to your body, and I want you to feel tonight's practice with ease and comfort. So everything I offer you is a suggestion. It is not at all a demand or a command. You can simply stay where you are, stay comfortable, stay flow, stay happy throughout the whole practice. So as we have this beautiful duality of Taurus and Scorpio, earth and water, we also want to use those energies to purify. So as we feel the emotions tonight, I want you to stay grounded. Stay in the present moment. Stay physically here. Try not to let your mind wander into the why, the who, the what, and the where. Just feel what you need to feel. Allow it to come and allow it to go as you return to the present moment. We're gonna visualize something to keep us grounded throughout this whole practice. As we are in a seated position, I want you to close your eyes, return to your breath, and I want you to visualize roots growing out of your hips into the earth. Strong, steady roots that are so consistently growing down towards the center. making their way all through the earth, all the layers, all the way to the center of this beautiful planet. And I want you to think of those roots creating a ball, winding together around the center of the earth. And I want you to think of that beautiful burning ball of fire in the center of those root structures that you've created, grounding you to the center of this earth. You feel that steady connection through your root. Then we'll begin to use our body that's above the earth as like the root as a point of balance to go from. So as we just slowly begin gentle movements, opening up our side body, we're thinking about that root connecting us to the earth. So I'm just leaning to the left, leaning to the right, like a tree in the wind. Its roots stay steady, but it can flow. It can flow because it's connected to something deeper. So that's what we're doing. We're being like that tree. We're warming up, allowing our body that's showing above the ground to flow and to float as we stay connected. Go ahead and find any sort of intuitive movement here that feels good for your spine. And then we are going to make our way into some seated cats and cows. So just placing your hands on the knees, rounds the back, tuck the chin, pull the belly in. And then inhale, open the chest, pull the belly forward. And roll through a couple of these just with the fluidity of a tree moving in the wind. Gonna go into a couple twists here. So take your right hand behind your back, left to the knee, to your right knee, and then follow your gaze out over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center and then over to the other side. And back to center. Let's go ahead and warm up those legs. So we're gonna just extend our feet out in front of us, and I wanna start with our feet. Just warming up all of the joints and the toes and the ankles by rolling them forward and back. And then point your toes and hold. And then create a little space between your feet, and let's just do some circles. Nice and easy. And then switching directions. And then we're gonna warm up our knees. So we're gonna just go ahead and bend our knees in, extend. Now you can do this nice and light like I'm doing, or if you feel like you have some tension in your knees, you can always just kind of like flop them and just see how that feels. Just whatever you need at this moment. And then we can also go in like this, extend the knee, and then drop it. Do about 3 each side. And then we're gonna go into the hips. So leaning back on our hands, we'll just take one hip up and then just do a hip circle open to the side. And switch directions. And switch over to the left leg. And switch directions. And then we're gonna take that right leg into our hand and kind of cradle the shin like this. And then we're just gonna twist, open and close, just really warming up the hip joint. I'm gonna make sure we're keeping our foot flexed to protect the knee here. And then you can play with kind of pulling that into the chest. And then we'll switch over to the other side. All right, and we're gonna go on our backs here into a reclined pigeon pose. So we're gonna take your right leg, cross it at the shin against the quad here, and pressing the right knee away. We're just sitting here in our reclined pigeon pose. This is a perfect stopping point if this feels good enough, or you can take that left foot, kind of hover it and grab between. Thinking again about pushing the right knee out. And then we'll just play with putting both feet on the ground here, and we're gonna go into some pelvic tilts. So this is really where the Scorpio energy resides, is in the pelvis. So this is going to feel really relaxing. What we're thinking about is taking our hips and tilting them under so that our belly is nice and flat. And then we're gonna take them and tilt them back. And then we'll rotate them forward again and back. And just play around with that rocking sensation, a nice massage on the sacrum, and really opening up the pelvic floor, loosening up any tension in the lower back. One more time, and then we'll take our left foot pigeon pose, reclined here. So we're making that cross, keeping the foot flexed to protect the knee, and then we're thinking about our left knee going out and away as we lift up into our reclined pigeon, or if you stayed flat on the last one, try to stay consistent. And then release back into some pelvic tilts again, just to really warm up the sacrum here. Warm up the hips. Really release any energy we're feeling in our hips. Let's do 3 more. Last one. All right. We're gonna stay on our back, and we're just gonna do a couple more hip circles and open up our hips. So go ahead and extend your left leg and then bring your right knee in. And we're just gonna open up to the right, just like we were doing earlier. It's just a reclined pose here. So the circles can be a bit bigger. I want you to just do with what's comfortable, and imagine that your knee is drawing a circle on the ceiling. And then we're gonna switch directions here. As you notice, I just kind of playing with a straight leg here. You're welcome to do that as well. We're gonna go ahead and open up the left side now. And again, I want you to just feel that connection to the earth here. Even as we're laying on our back, you're still grounded. If any tension comes up, any negative self-talk or broken belief systems about what you can or can't do, or about what you should look like or should be doing. Anything's popping up in your mind, I want you to just witness it. Allow it to be without trying to change it. And then allow it to go. Go ahead and switch directions if you haven't already. And when you're ready, we're gonna pull both knees into the chest here and go into happy baby pose. So we're reaching for the outer edges of the feet, and the knees are gonna come in towards the armpits, creating a nice 90-degree angle in the legs here. This is a stretch for the lower back. And you can rock side to side here and play with how that feels. You're really just opening up the hips here, allowing a nice release in the lower back. You can play with straightening legs if you want, if you're feeling it. You can do one at a time, or if you want to, you can go for both and just really stretch out your hamstrings. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and release. Slowly make your way back up to a seated position. And we're gonna take our hands to our shoulders here. Lift those elbows so that they're in line with our shoulders. And we're gonna do a quick breathing exercise that's gonna get any negative energy out of our belly and out of our spine. So it's a quick Kundalini exercise where we're finding that grounding into the earth, and we're gonna do some twisting. We're gonna inhale over to the right, exhale to the left, inhale to the right, exhale to the left. It's a pretty quick movement. It should build some heat in your body. It should be a purifying practice. It should feel a little bit tough, a little bit hard. It's good for you, so let's do it together for just a bit here. So inhale. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release, relax. Keep your eyes closed and just breathe with a tall spine. Take a deep breath with me. Exhale, let it go. Let everything go. Open your eyes, return to this present moment. If anything came up for you, I just want you to sit in awareness and realizing that everything is temporary. Emotions and thoughts are temporary. So as you return to the present moment, it's a reminder that you are allowed to let go. All right, we're gonna come to standing. So meet me at the top of your mat. All right, from our standing position, we are going to find that root again through the feet. So imagine that root at the bottom of the earth, in the center of the earth. We're finding that root in our mind's eye, and we're connecting to it so that we can be the tree that's on top of the earth, flowing freely, connected to the root. From here, we're gonna do some intuitive spinal rolls. So I want you to feel connected to your feet, and that's where we're gonna start. So I want you to just practice coming up on the toes, and then down to the heels, and just play around with warming up the connection to the feet. And then from here, what we're gonna do is start at the feet, bend the knees forward, press the hips forward, press the chest forward, chin, head, and then when the chin and the head are up, again, start with the feet and start the second wave, the roll that goes through the body. So it looks like an intuitive wave through the body. We are just warming up that connection, that mind-body connection. You're trying to get your body to do something. Really focus on it. Focus on that wave. Focus on what control you have over your body. Try to go through 5 more. And 3. And 2. Last one. All right. Now we feel a little bit warmed up. Our spine's nice and warmed up here. I want us to open up into goddess pose. So taking yourself wide on the mat here. Toes kind of pointed out towards the front 2 top corners of your mats. And we're gonna bend our knees nice and deep, opening our knees to the side here. I want you to think about those pelvic tilts that we did earlier. Tucking your tailbone down towards the earth, and then getting your shoulders over in line with your tailbone here. Warming up into our nice goddess squat here. We are gonna just hang out here for a bit and find intuitive movement. So whether that's rocking side to side like this, flowing like a tree in the wind, or maybe taking the hands to the knees and doing some dips, some spinal twists, or maybe you just want to find stillness. We're just going to hang out here for a couple more breaths, and I want you to feel all of the feelings that come up with this pose. I want you to listen to all of them as they come. I want you to say thank you as you send them on their way. As they go, they are temporary, you are permanent. Your state of mind is temporary. And we teach ourselves that through yoga, through resilience training, that all of those thoughts of I can't, it's hard, I'm dying, all of the emotions like I'm fearful, I'm scared, those are all temporary emotions that we can thank for being there and let go when the time is right. Couple more breaths. Get nice and deep. Drop lower than you thought you could go. Keep going. Three more breaths. Beautiful. Take your body to the left and come and meet me in a crescent lunge. All 10 toes are facing towards the front of the mat. There's a lift in the back heel and there's a bend in the front knee here. Arms come up into a high crescent lunge. And open the heart on the exhale here, just allowing all of those emotions to flow right through you. They were all temporary anyways. We survived. We did good. Beautiful. From here, opening up into warrior 2, making sure that back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Front foot is the same deep bend. All 5 toes pointing up towards the front here. I want you to think about your feet. More roots growing, wrapping around the center of the earth here, feeling that connection to earth. Opening the hips here, they're facing towards the side of the mat, both of them. From here, we're gonna go into star pose. Turning all 10 toes again here towards the side of the mat, similar to goddess pose, except your legs are straight. And we're just gonna open up our hands, accepting that we are allowed to be the best version of ourselves. We are allowed to shine and be beautiful. And any emotions, thoughts that hold us back from being our best selves no longer serve us here in this moment. We release them. Big inhale and exhale. As we switch to the other side, coming into our high crescent on the right foot. Deep bend in the front right knee. Lift in the back left heel. Arms come up. Open the heart. Allow the emotions to flow. Allow them to go. As we swing back open to warrior two, we feel our roots in the earth. We feel our stableness, our steadiness, our strength. Feeling and visualizing ourselves connected to the root of all. From here, we'll open back up into star pose one final time, accepting that we are allowed to be the best version of us. We allow it, we accept it, and we welcome it. And we assist our body and our mind with letting go of what no longer serves us. We take time for ourselves. We make sure it's important. From here, I want you to just heel to toe, your feet in slightly. We're gonna come down into a nice yogi squat, so you don't want them too close. Slowly take your way down and pause halfway, feeling that resilience. You've got it. Feeling your feet connected to the earth. Deep centered. And when you're ready, go a little bit lower. And when you're ready, go a little bit lower. All the way to our squat. Using our elbows to press the knees open. Bring a smile to your face. From here, we'll take our left hands down to the mat, our right hand open as we twist. If you want to, you can find the bind behind your back. Giving thanks and gratitude to this wonderful body, to this beautiful practice, to yourself for showing up. Return to center, reach your right arm out to the side and open up to the left. And again, if you'd like to, you can find the twist or the bind here. Again, giving gratitude and thanks to this beautiful practice, to your beautiful body. And release and kind of walk your hands towards the front of the mat, and we're coming into a low lunge with our left foot in front. From here, we're gonna just wiggle our left foot over so that it's by the right hand, and we're gonna just make our way into pigeon pose. So you want to imagine that the front of your shin is parallel to the mat, but it probably won't be, and that's fine. We're just trying to get our shin somehow slightly parallel to the mat. It might be at an angle, and that's totally fine. What we really, really want out of this pose is our hips to be even. So what we're really thinking about is my right hip as close to the ground as it can get. And we want to just peek over our right shoulder and make sure that our foot is straight and that our knee's not bent and that our foot's not splayed out to the side. And then we want to think about those hips again. Really, really drawing that right hip down towards the earth. And from here, we'll just slowly make our way down. You can pause anywhere you'd like. You can stay upright if you want. You can come all the way down to the mat if that feels good. And we're really just gonna hang out here for a second. Couple good deep breaths. We wanna shoot for 5. If we can make it to 10, that's great. Pigeon pose is one of the deepest hip stretches that you can get into. There are some obviously very advanced poses beyond it, but it is most likely going to make you feel some kind of way. And I want you to just honor that and be okay with it. Emotions are temporary and thoughts are temporary. They come and they go. The thing we want to do is we want to witness them. We want to hold space for our thoughts and our emotions. We want them to come. We want to listen to them, hear them out. Some thoughts might be really important and some might just be fluff. Some thoughts might be telling you, hey, I have an injury there. Please don't push me any further. And that's important to listen to that thought. And some thoughts are going to tell you, you can't do pigeon pose. That one yoga teacher in that one class told you that you'd never get it. And as long as you feel like you are in control, you feel comfortable, like you can breathe in this pose with ease, then you're doing it. It doesn't matter if your chest is to the ground or if you're up or if your leg is up and bent and you're reaching back for it. Like, what we want to find in this pose is release, surrender. So witness your thoughts, allow them to come, give them space. And if they no longer serve you, say thank you. You can go. We honor them, we honor our thoughts. We don't bury them. We don't tell them get out of here and never come back. We're not rude. We're grateful for our beautiful brains and our wonderful way of thinking about the world. Couple more breaths. All right, let's make our way over to the other side. Slowly walk your way out of your pigeon pose. And I like to lift my back leg and kind of walk it in and then kind of lift it and allow this one to slide out. And then downward facing dog and kind of just shake it out a little bit. And then we're going with the left foot this time, up to the front. And then we're gonna wiggle it over to the left so that our shin is somehow parallel to the front. Doesn't need to be perfect, it can be at an angle. What we're really focusing on is getting the left hip down so that it's in line with the right. So the right one's gonna automatically feel like it's gonna feel so close to the earth, like you could sit on it if you lean that way, but we don't wanna do that. We wanna keep our hips in line. So we wanna be focusing on that center of balance between the two hips, pulling both hips in towards the center. And then we wanna make sure that our left hip gets as low as our right. We want to just honor that and hold space for that movement and that transition. Allow all the thoughts to come up. We want to witness them, hold space. We thank them and let them go. We don't allow them to take us. We hold space for our thoughts. We allow them to come, we honor them and respect them and listen to them. And when we know they no longer serve us, or that they're not serving our highest good, we let those thoughts go, those emotions go. We don't allow them to take us to where they want you to go. So if fear comes up, oh, you're gonna get hurt in this pose because, you know, it's hurting, or like, you know, honor it, listen to it. Okay, where is it hurting? Can I back out a little bit? Does that feel good? Does that take away the pain? Perfect, I'm gonna hang out here. Okay, but if you listen to it and you're like, okay, well, you know, it's not really hurting, I'm just tight in the back of my leg, and it's not really hurting, it's just a pretty deep stretch. Okay, I'm gonna try to back out a little bit and breathe my way slowly a little bit deeper. Okay, so we're honoring and listening to our thoughts. But we don't allow ourselves to stay frozen in our bodies, but our mind to go. So we don't allow the thought to take us somewhere. You envisioning yourself in a hospital, you visioning your leg being broken and you're gone, but your body's still here. That's what we don't do. We don't allow our thoughts to take us. We hold space for our thoughts and we control them. We allow them to come and we choose which serve our highest good with great care. And then we say thank you, and we are just gentle and kind with ourselves, because all your brain is trying to do is make sure that you're happy, healthy, and we honor that. So we thank that fear for coming up and saying, thank you so much. I mean, obviously you're trying to tell me something. I'll listen to you and I'll honor that. But it gets to a point where you no longer serve me. You're trying to convince me I'm gonna end up in a hospital in 20 minutes because of Pigeon Pose. Like, okay, I'm going somewhere with this. Like, I need to return to the present moment. What can I control? I can back out of the pose. Okay, that doesn't hurt. Okay, I can hang out there. That's better. So, this is what we do. This is the practice. This is the practice of witnessing the thoughts. And yoga is one of those physical practices where it almost makes your mind think more, because you're putting yourself in these uncomfortable situations, this deep stretch. And so you're forcing your mind to think about something. We also do this practice when we just sit and meditate. When the weirdest, most distant thoughts will pop up in your brain from back in your childhood, and what are you gonna do about it? Well, you're gonna hold space for it. You're gonna reconsider, is that something that needs to take up space in my brain anymore? Or can I release that? Couple more breaths. All right, let's slowly work our way out and hang out in downward facing dog. All right, slowly make your way back to a seated position. Okay. So that concludes the yoga practice that I have for you today. I encourage you to go get a piece of paper and a pen, a glass of water, some crystals, a rock, and a candle, and set up a little space for yourself light the candle, drink your water, hold the crystals in your hands, and I want you to just sit right after this yoga class and just feel what emotions are coming through. And you can even make a little note on the piece of paper. And I encourage you to give what you no longer need, because when you allow energy to flow through you, you will feel so much lighter, so much happier, so much more at peace with the world, in tune with the flow of energy. It's time to release and let go. I'm here with you. I honor you and hold space for you. Namaste.